Hi there, I'm Nancy Herring from Now We're Cooking. It's Tuesday, so it's time for tips, tricks, and treats. And today I'm making soup. Soup can be an all-day affair. You can start your beans from scratch. You can cook it all day. I never have all day to do that. So this soup uses canned beans and a few things like that. Still takes about an hour to do, so it is something you could do when you get home from work. I'm kind of cobbling it together so you all can see what's happening. What I have already done is browned some Italian sausage, and then I drained it so it's sitting there. What's in my pot with the fond from that is onions and a Fresno pepper, which looks just like a jalapeno pepper, but it's red. And if you can't find Fresno's, jalapeno is a great substitution. So I cut it up really small, I chopped up my onions, I sauteed them, and the reason it's so brown is I threw in 2 teaspoons of paprika. And if I could find my garlic press. I didn't put my garlic in yet because I didn't want to burn the garlic, because I have a bad tendency to throw the garlic in and then let it burn. This is that snazzy garlic press from Xylus that you don't have to peel the garlic. You just put your clove in and squish, scrape off the garlic, and what's behind is the husk, and you just pop that out. And because I have a lot of garlic, I'm putting it a couple of times in here. So this is just gonna cook a little bit. Then I'm going to add my chicken broth. And in the interest of saving time and all of those things, I'm using already prepared chicken broth. If you want to make your own chicken broth and freeze it, it'll have a little bit better flavor, but there's so much action in this soup that you're not gonna say, oh, my chicken broth was not proper. It takes you want about 6 cups of chicken broth, which is basically a box in a can. But the other beauty of doing this kind of soup is if you don't want to make this much, don't use as much sausage. Just make smaller portions, and then you won't have much left over. So what I want to do is I want to get the chicken broth going in here, and I want this to boil. And while it's boiling, we're going to talk about some other things that we did. It's not coming out as fast as it should, but that's okay. So, the other ingredients to this soup are white beans, and I am using canned white beans. You can use Great Northern, you can use cannellini, anything that's a white bean. And when you use canned beans, you always want to drain them because they have that aquafaba on them, which you kind of want to rinse that off. There's a lot of salt in there usually. So we're going to pretend that I've done this as hot as it's supposed to. I haven't put the sausage back in yet because we're going to pretend that I have let this come to a boil, because what you want to do, soup needs to be a little thicker sometimes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of the broth, and I put about 1 can of beans in my container that came with my stick blender. I want to puree in effect 1 can of beans. I want to leave 1 can whole. And what that's going to do is thicken up the soup without adding flour or a roux or anything like that. It's going to naturally thicken it. So with my stick blender, and you could do this in the regular blender, but the stick blender is so easy to do this. I basically just did a bean milkshake. I wouldn't want to drink this as a smoothie, but that's all right. So I'm going to rinse this off. And I'm going to rev this up a bit. So this will go in, my sausage will go back in, my beans will go back in, and then when it's boiled about 15-20 minutes, then you put your kale in. It has a name which I cannot remember. It starts with an L. It's kind of elephant ear kale. You can use a bag of chopped up kale. You can use frozen spinach. You can use fresh spinach. Most any green will be tasty in here. It just gives a little brightness to the soup, and that's why you put it in. So if you say, oh, I can't stand kale, then use spinach. So as I say, I'm not exactly doing the right thing, but I'm going to throw it all in here. And then I'm going to show you, I mean, it's real easy. The ingredients are there. All the sauteing is about the only thing that takes any amount of time, and a little bit of chopping. So I'm throwing this in. And right now, it's very dark because of the paprika. I put salt and pepper in there. There's a bay leaf in there. So it's really dark. When I put this, the pureed beans in, now it looks almost creamy, but of course there's no cream in it. I'm gonna rinse this a little bit. The reason you don't want to put the sausage in before you puree is I don't want to have pureed sausage in there. So when this has come back to a boil and everything's cooked for 10-15 minutes, then you add the kale and just till it's softened. And that's all there is to it. So the ingredients are simple, the flavor is there, it's just the timing. Now, funny thing, I have another container of soup that I did earlier. And I, just for comparison's sake, this is a 5.5 quart Dutch oven from Le Creuset. This is a really old piece from Chantal that they don't make anymore, and it's also 5.5 quart. Dutch ovens are shorter and wider, stock pots are taller and narrower, basically the same size. What I put out to show is that that's a 5.5 quart Le Creuset, and that's an 8 quart stainless stock pot. If you didn't want to make very much of it, you could certainly use like a large saucepan, like a 4.5 quart saucepan, anything like that. So it's onions, it's a Fresno pepper, it's some garlic, saute all that, add a little chicken broth, add your paprika while you're sauteing so it gives some flavor, salt and pepper it, let that come to a boil, take out part of the beans before you put the beans in, puree part of them with your stick blender, add all that, let that cook in 15-20 minutes, then add the kale, and then eat it. So, I'm going to show you what it looks like finished. I'm going to put it in a glass mug so you can see. A little lemon juice on top makes it a little brighter. I'm going to put some Parmesan or Pecorino or whatever we grated the other day on top for a little zesty flavor. You could also put some chopped parsley on the top. I think the green of the kale kind of adds enough color, but depending on what you like. This is such an adaptable soup. If you said, gosh, I got 3 carrots I need to use, chop those up and put them in there too. But see what a color it is, and see how pretty it is, and then you would just take your Italian-y type cheese and sprinkle some on top, serve it with some crusty bread, and you've got dinner. And you can do this in about less than an hour start to finish. So and the sausage that I used was Italian sausage. I used sweet Italian sausage. You could do hot Italian sausage, mild, anything like that, whatever you like the flavor of. So real easy to do. I encourage you to try it because it's getting to be soup weather, and soup is so adaptable and nice to take for lunch and have leftovers. A lot of times soup is more flavorful the next day after the flavors have had a chance to mingle. So that's how you make white bean sausage and kale soup. Now we're cooking. We're at Paseo in Wyoming in Albuquerque. We're open 11 to 4 Monday through Saturday. We're doing gadget hour on Fridays from 4 to 6. So if you're out on Friday, we'll be demoing some products and giving some samples, and we'll be open for sales until 6. So please come by and see us. Please help us get you ready for fall. We've got Halloween things. We'll be getting Christmas things soon. We'd love to see you. If you have any questions, let us know. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next week.